Imagine no malaria. Imagine no malaria. Imagine no malaria.
I'm Annie Greenslade, part of Sonoma United Methodist Church Youth Group, and our goal is to raise $500 to stop malaria.
It was called What's the Buzz? And it was an event to connect our folks in our churches and to rally around the Imagine No Malaria initiative. So this was a launching event for information, and each of the churches has been kind of tasked to go off and raise more money, and then we'll be meeting again in the fall for another rally connecting with hopefully the larger community, and then announcing all of the totals from all of the churches. We gather monthly as the clergy in this county, and we have been talking over the last several months of different ways that we could galvanize around some shared mission. And there were many different things that had come up in those conversations, whether it was around a food issue or some kind of community organizing around housing, and we didn't seem to really gel until we got contact from our now not so new district superintendent, Skylar Rhodes, about coming up for some kind of an event. And at that point, the idea of Imagine No Malaria and inviting Sasha Arjanikova to come all kind of coalesced into something that we are excited about. And for me, it seems like the task of this time period that we're in to do some major public relations and changing the public image of what people associate with Christians or with United Methodists. And if people could hear the word Methodist in this county and say, hey, those are the people who are fighting malaria, that would be a really good thing. So we find in this county that there are people who do care about the hungry and about sustainability, and those are all related issues, I think. And so we're trying to tap into that compassionate part of the heart of our neighbors here to connect them with the neighbors across the world.
United Methodists are ascending people, and we in the California-Nevada Annual Conference are a sending conference. We send volunteers in mission, and we also send professional missionaries who are teachers and health workers and scientists and agricultural consultants. We send church workers who build and plant churches. We send the cream of our youth who have taken seriously what they have learned in our Sunday schools. We send adults who are accomplished in life and are in a second career. And we send immigrants who have come to this country and decided that they are willing to return to their home country, carrying Christianity back with them. We send people to faraway places, to Cambodia and Nepal, Macedonia, Brazil. We send people to places that are closer to home, such as in support of the Hispanic ministries on the West Coast. Catherine Parker served for 5 years in Cambodia in community health and agricultural development, and then she is now in Nepal working on the health team for the United Mission to Nepal. We also support missionaries who are not from California and Nevada. United Methodism today embraces the concept of supporting missionaries from everywhere to everywhere.
Our mission is to try to make the plight of the people of East Timor visible to the American public in general, but especially to the religious community. That's really our little piece of the pie. East Timor was invaded by Indonesia on December 7th, 1975. and the result of that invasion was the worst mass slaughter in proportion to population since the Holocaust. The East Timorese lost over 200,000 people, about a third of their original population. And yet the story was hidden or suppressed by the mainstream media in this country until very recently. So a large part of our task was just making the American public, particularly religious folks, aware of what had happened. You know, why should we North Americans care about this tiny little country that is so far away, and we don't have any East Timorese United Methodists? But I think there's several reasons really why it's important. The first is that when people learn about the atrocities that have taken place, they can't help but feel outraged. If they don't feel outraged, I don't know how they can consider themselves really human. Perhaps a more thoughtful reason is so as not to be complicit in this mass slaughter, because 90% of the weapons used during Indonesia's invasion were supplied by our own government. And our government gave Indonesia crucial military, economic, and diplomatic support. The East Timorese are 95% Christian, and they've asked for our help. They don't want our pity or our sympathy. They really ask for our solidarity and support. And they've been forgotten or abandoned for a long time. And so this support, I think, is our moral duty and an act of justice. It's not just charity. The people of East Timor have expressed many times how grateful they are that we haven't forgotten them. And you know, it's an impoverished country. It's probably it's the poorest nation in Southeast Asia. Less than 50% of school-age children enroll in school. And of the, let's say, 50% that do enroll in the first grade, only a third of those are still enrolled by the time they reach the 9th grade. And the main issue in East Timor has always been self-determination. When East Timor won its independence, much to the surprise of many knowledgeable experts in the field, this miraculous victory, this David versus Goliath struggle, is the best contemporary example I can think of the gospel message that with God all things are possible.
And in WADI, you could see the settlements slowly coming down on their land. It was like a giant something just emerging on you slowly, inch by inch. And you could see it every day. And it's a scary feeling to know that you could lose your land anytime. But and so I thought, how can we help this little village? And they were going to build a community house, or they had it already. And so we began to send them money. And this time when I went in 2014, that little community house had the walls all painted in bright colors, a nice kitchen put in. And they were so proud of it, and I felt so good that in a little ways, our church, our people, in this conference had helped this community to have a meeting place where the women come together to learn how to make baskets from grapes that they grow, or olives and so forth from their fields using the materials that they have. And the youth can come there and meet to learn actually Hebrew, so it can help them get jobs. And it's just a gathering place for people to come in this village. And it looks so much better than what I had seen 2 years before. And I was glad that in little ways we were helping this village.
But our hearing was held last November, attended by about 100 people, as I recall. We were told that 30 would be a good hearing, but about 50 congressional representative offices were represented in the hearing to try to help congressional people learn. Many of them didn't know anything about anything with the Palestinian situation, about this specific village as an example of how they suffer under the occupation. We were able to collect money so that people from the village and the area, I think there were 5 Palestinians, and then also a professor from the village across the line, a Jewish professor, came to testify also on behalf of the villagers. That was another way that we tried to help their situation be an example for information in general about the area, as well as specifically WADI for QUIN, put that name on the map.
Jesus always helped the downcast. And right now, when you look at Israel-Palestine, the Palestinians are the downcast.